Well, having said prior to the election, note again what I've just shown you. Just have a look at this first video again.
We've said we have no intention of making any super changes. One of the things that we're doing in this campaign is we're making all of our policies clear.
Albo, stop digging the hole. Well, earlier today it was announced the Treasurer will double the tax rate paid by Australians on income from superannuation account balances worth more than $3 million. And this will be from 2025-26. Tax the earnings on superannuation funds beyond $3 million at 30 cents in the dollar, not 15. Now, forget the merits of the case, but I make this point. Do you think if this tax increase on superannuation had been flagged prior to the election, that Albanese would have won? I'm telling you, he would have been flogged. Morrison would have won the election. Albo's victory is now tainted and stained with dishonesty. Labor can't win this argument. The voters in Struggle Street believe that the government has got its hands on their superannuation, and that is political death. And Labor have just proved that they are after your super. Dutton was right. But, it's worse than that. Much worse. Because this decision today affects reportedly only 32,000 superannuants. What I'm about to tell you affects us all. What Labor really want to do is to determine how Australia's $3.3 trillion in accumulated superannuation should be invested. Chalmers made this point only last week, that it could be invested in projects that, quote, boost housing supply, manage climate change and spur digital transformation, unquote. As I've said, if superannuation funds truly believed these projects were sensible investments, they could have done all this or could be doing it all now. This is socialism with a capital S. Government saying what should be done with our money. Now, the tax on super is a big issue, but look out. Telling us how our superannuation should be invested is a bigger issue. And the hypocrisy, albeit dishonesty, is breathtaking. For example, in retirement, if you own your own home, then you're most probably guaranteed some dignity in old age. If you don't own your own home and you've got to pay rent and then fund your modest living, forgive the expression, but you're stuffed. The Liberal Party at the last election had a very good policy, albeit released in the last week. You can take some of your super for a deposit on a home. This would ideally reduce in retirement the dependence of many on the aged pension, because they'd own their home and perhaps have something. Labor jumped up and down and even today deny that policy. Yet Chalmers says your superannuation money should be invested in things like social housing. So your super, according to Chalmers, should assist other people into housing, but you can't use it to get yourself a house. That is how dumb and duplicitous these people are. Peter Dutton must prosecute this until he's out of breath in the Aston by-election. So just repeating, if your superannuation pool is more than $3 million, the tax on your earnings from the financial year 2025-26 will now be doubled. Labor is now in a political quagmire because of the stupidity with which it has raised this, perpetuating the dishonesty by trying to argue, well, this is not a broken promise. And now they'll rightly suffer the political odium of putting superannuation and tax in the same sentence. The big issue, though, is government telling us how our superannuation should be invested, and they should be belted from here to the end of the earth every time that is suggested.